We're almost ready. One. Oops, not quite ready yet. I'm just count. Can you guys count to 5? One, two, three, four. It's not 5 yet. Hi, everybody. Can you guys count to 5? This is Amartat. 1, and this is Amartat 4, storyteller. So I'm so happy to be here with you all. And here we are starting a new story series. This is your Wandering Storyteller. And today we're going to talk about a little girl named Sandy. Sandy lived in a suburban house, which means that she was near a big city, but a little bit outside the city. And around her house, there was a lot of gardens and trees. And she would walk every day to school. And she had a beautiful walk. She would go by you know what the flowers are called behind me? You guys know what those flowers are?
Tulip.
Those are called tulips.
Yay,
and so they were walking behind. She was walking by these beautiful, beautiful tulips. And every day she went by, school would have these tulips. Well, let me tell you what happened. Nearby her school, there was this big, beautiful apple tree. And it had the most beautiful, red, delicious apples growing on it. But the problem was Sandy was only in 2nd grade. She was about 7 years old, right? And so she couldn't reach up and get those apples. She couldn't. So she always wanted to eat one of those lovely apples, but she honestly didn't know how to get to them. And so what happened was there was this man with a big white beard. You see my beard? What color is my beard?
White.
White. And this guy had a beard like, whoa, very long like that. And he was always sitting against the tree, leaning back against the tree, smoking a pipe. You know what a pipe is? It sort of looks like a little bowl with a stick in it. Sort of like this. And had a little bowl on top of it, and he smoked tobacco in the pipe. He was just sitting down there. He had this funny hat on every day. And every day, Sandy would walk by him and look at him and smile at him. And he would smile, but he had the nicest smile. He'd go, And right above this man, there was this beautiful little red-breasted bird. And this was what they call a robin redbreast, a beautiful little bird. And the little bird would sit in the apple tree. And every time that Sandy walked by, the little bird, you know what the little bird would say?
What?
Every day, exactly the same song would come out of the bird. Oh my gosh. She felt the bird was trying to say something to her, but she wasn't really sure what the bird was trying to say. But every day she would go by and come back and forth. And one day she decided to stop at the man and offer him a candy bar. She had this little candy bar that her mommy had given her to take to school that day, but she wanted to give the candy bar to the man. She came up to the man and he smiled at her as always, and she smiled back at him and she said, Can I give you this candy bar? Would you like some candy? And the man looked at her and he said, Well, do you like candy? And she said, Yeah, of course I like candy. And the man said, Well, yeah, of course. Everybody likes candy. Of course, I'd love to have some candy. And he took the candy bar from her and he opened it up and he took one bite of it. Oh, he said, this is the most delicious candy bar I ever had in my life. What do you call this? And we call this a stumper bar. Oh, I love your stumper bar, said the man. And Sandy said, well, what is your name, mister? And he said, well, you can just call me PaPa. PaPa, she said, but I have my own PaPa. No, he said, I don't mean you call me Papa, you call me PaPa. She said, looked at him with a funny look. Pa? Yeah, you got it, he said. That's my name. And what is it that I can give you? Because you gave me this wonderful candy bar. What would you like, little girl? And she looked up at the tree and she looked up at the robin. She said, I would like to eat one of those delicious apples up there because every time I come by, I can't reach them. And so PaPa said, well, let's try shaking the tree and see what happens. So they both leaned against the tree and they started to shake it a little bit. And the leaves of the tree started to float like this. And they shook it a little harder. And the leaves of the tree went a little harder. And they shook it a little harder. And they lifted it. Oh, watch out, here comes an apple. And the apple fell on the ground and went kersplat and opened up like this. It hit the ground so hard. Oh, and she looked down and I said, but I want a whole beautiful apple. I don't want this messy little apple here. And then when she looked inside the apple, you guess what she saw? There was this big, fat worm crawling around inside the apple. That worm was happy. He was eating this wonderful, wonderful apple. But she said, no, I want to have a good one of those big, juicy, nice red apples. And PaPa said, okay, my dear, what is your name? She said, my name's Sandy. Well, Sandy, come back tomorrow and we'll try to get you another apple. So she skipped off and went to school. And guess what? Right on her way to school the next day, she came by and said, hey, PaPa. He was sleeping at this point. He was sleeping against the tree and his pipe was sort of kicking down like this. Wake up, PaPa. Oh, okay. Can you get me one of those big juicy apples today? He said, well, okay, let's go shake the tree again and we'll get another one to fall. She said, no, because last time when we pushed on the tree, it fell down and yeah, but it broke in half. And besides, it had a worm in it. How can we find an apple without a worm? Well, PaPa said, there's only one way I know to do that. And that is, you have to ask my friend, the spider. And just then they saw coming down on a beautiful silk web, a bright black spider. She said, oh, I'm afraid of spiders. Please, PaPa. He said, no, don't you worry, my dear Sandy. This black spider is not a black widow spider. You know, a black widow spider has a red hourglass on their underside. Looks sort of like a red, two little triangles of red. No, this is a pure black angel spider, and he is the sweetest friend. He comes and sees me every day, and he can show us where the best apple would be. You just have to ask him. Well, she was frightened. There's a spider. That's a spider. No, come on, Sandy, dear. Just get close to him. And so Sandy sort of went a little close, you know. Hi, hi, spider. Are you gonna bite me, spider? Spider, will you be my friend? Spider, please let me know what you're gonna do, spider. And the spider, of course, said in spider language, well, actually, we don't know what spider language is because spiders don't really have, much of a voice. But the spider started to do a little dance on its string that it was handing on it. And sort of went like, and it made Sandy laugh. I've never seen a spider do a dance. And then the spider started crawling up its web and went very high into the tree and then came out on a branch, and she followed the spider to the branch, and he stopped right at this big, juicy red apple. And it was too tall for her to reach, but PaPa, he stood up and he tried to reach for the apple. He couldn't quite get it. And then guess what happened next? A big friendly dog came along. His name, he was a black Labrador. These black Labradors, they're black, they're beautiful, they're so friendly. And the black Labrador came, and PaPa said, and this black Labrador's name was Jake. He said, "Hi, Jake, how you doing?" And Jake sort of went, "Oh, wow, oh, wow, wow, oh, oh." He said, "Jake, you see that apple up there? I know you're a really good jumper. You think you could jump up and get that apple and knock it down for us?" And Jake sort of went, that meant he'll try. So Jake went way far back and started to run. Made a huge leap into the air and came down short. He couldn't get high enough to get to the apple. So he tried another time. He missed the apple the second time. And so PaPa had a great idea. He got this big stick and he put the stick in the mouth of Jake, the dog, like this, okay? Now he said, all you gotta do this time is jump up and you turn your head and the stick will knock the apple down. So that's what the dog tried again. He got way back. He got the stick in his mouth. He jumped in the air. He turned his head and the stick gave him just enough space to go. And he knocked the apple, and the apple started flying through the air. And Sandy kept running to catch the apple, and she caught the apple in her hand before it could hit on the ground. And it was the most beautiful, juicy apple she'd ever seen. She said, "Thank you, PaPa. I'm going to go to school now and take my beautiful red apple with me. But I'll come back and see you tomorrow." "Okay," said PaPa, "don't forget." So the next day, she was so happy she had eaten the apple. It was the most beautiful taste, wonderful taste. Her mommy was so happy. She came over to the tree where PaPa was sleeping every day or sitting. But guess what? Where was PaPa? PaPa wasn't anywhere there. "PaPa, where are you, PaPa?" She looked on all sides of the tree. She looked up, she looked down. She said, she called to the robin, "Robin, do you know where PaPa is?" The robin went, I don't know what you're saying, Robin. And just then the little spider came down on the web. And of course, now Sandy was not afraid of the spider. She said, Spider, Spider, hey, Spider, where did PaPa go? And the spider did what spiders do, did a little dance. But this time Sandy didn't laugh. She was sad. She wanted her PaPa. And then the dog came along. That was the big black Labrador retriever came along. And she said, where is PaPa? You're a good dog. You could probably find him. And so we'll have to find out tomorrow. Actually, our next story is going to be on Friday at the same time. Well, actually, we'll do a little earlier Friday. We get to do it at 10:30 in the morning, New York time. So everybody, come on back on Friday and hear what happened to PaPa and Sandy. And we'll see you live on YouTube, or later on, it'll be on YouTube on the channel. This is Amartat. Please subscribe to my channel. And it's great seeing you all. Bye, everybody. Love you.
PaPa, 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 PaPa. Hey, ta-ta.